Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever felt like you're the one standing in your own way? Like every time things start going right, you ruin it. You miss the opportunity. You push away the person. You avoid the risk. You break what you worked so hard to build. And afterward, you don't even know why you did it. There's no villain in your story. No one holding you back. Just you, sitting in the ruins of what could have been, wondering, what the hell is wrong with me? But what if I told you there's nothing wrong with you? What you're experiencing has a name, a pattern, a history, and most importantly, a cause. It's called self-sabotage, and nearly everyone does it. But here's the twist. Self-sabotage isn't always loud. It's not always obvious. Sometimes it shows up as procrastination, or perfectionism, or overthinking, or staying in relationships you know are wrong, or saying yes when you mean no, or never starting because you're afraid to fail, or worse, afraid to succeed. It hides behind logic, behind excuses, behind good intentions. But underneath it all, self-sabotage is a quiet belief. I don't deserve this. Where does that belief come from? Plato believed that the soul is divided, reason, spirit, and appetite. And unless they're in harmony, you live in conflict with yourself. That's what self-sabotage is, internal war. One part of you wants more, freedom, love, purpose. Another part is terrified of what it would mean to have it. Because if you get what you want, now you can lose it. Now you're vulnerable. Now people expect things of you. Now you have to live as someone new. And deep down, you might not believe you're enough. So you destroy it before it destroys you. Nietzsche once said, "Man is more ape than any ape." A brutal observation. But what he meant is this. Human beings aren't driven purely by logic or virtue. We're driven by instinct, by fear, by deep animal emotions hiding behind civilized faces. Self-sabotage is not irrational. It's deeply logical to the part of you still trying to survive in a world that once punished authenticity. If your childhood taught you love must be earned, you'll keep sabotaging unconditional love. If your past told you success brings pressure or abandonment, you'll keep playing small. If you were told you're too much, you'll keep quiet even when you're burning inside. This isn't weakness, it's programming. Bonhoeffer warned us that the greatest threat to humanity isn't evil, it's unthinking obedience. And often, we obey scripts we didn't even choose. Scripts written by pain, fear, trauma. But here's the twist. You are the one obeying them. You're not a victim of your thoughts. You're the one listening, which means you can choose something else. But first, you have to see the trap. Let me tell you a story. There's a tribe in Africa that catches monkeys using a simple trick. They place fruit in a narrow-necked jar. The monkey reaches in, grabs the fruit, but then can't pull its hand out unless it lets go. The monkey gets caught, not because it's trapped, but because it refuses to let go. Self-sabotage is the fruit. Your old beliefs, your outdated identity, your fear of rejection, your comfort zone. You say you want to be free, but you won't let go of what's safe. And so you stay stuck, not because you're weak, because you're scared. Machiavelli understood this in politics and in life. He wrote that most people prefer security over freedom, not because they're cowards, but because freedom is terrifying. Freedom means responsibility, accountability, uncertainty. And for someone who's been hurt, security feels like survival. So you sabotage change, even if that change is what you've been begging for. Let's break it down even more. Self-sabotage is often delaying what matters most. Choosing people who reflect how you feel about yourself, setting goals but never acting on them. Talking yourself out of taking risks, breaking trust before someone else can break yours. Seeking comfort in chaos because peace feels unfamiliar. Sound familiar? It should, because it's human. But being human isn't an excuse to stay stuck. It's an invitation to wake up. Carl Jung, the father of analytical psychology, said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." This is the heart of it all. You don't sabotage your life because you're broken. You sabotage your life because somewhere deep inside you're still trying to stay safe. But safety and growth can't coexist. And the longer you protect yourself from pain, the longer you protect yourself from joy. So what now? How do you stop self-sabotaging? Step 1, radical honesty. Name the patterns. Call them out. Watch yourself without judgment. Notice when you start pulling away just as things are going well. Notice when you pretend you don't care, because caring makes you vulnerable. Notice when you're too busy for your dreams, and then ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? Step 2, redefine success. For many of us, success was tied to performance, approval, perfection. But what if success is something else? What if success is telling the truth? What if it's showing up scared but showing up anyway? What if it's building a life that feels good on the inside, not just looks good on the outside? Step 3, forgive yourself. You've made mistakes, you've blown chances, hurt people, lied, quit. But you were trying to survive. You were doing the best you could with what you had. Now you know more. Now you can do better. And doing better doesn't mean being perfect. It means being real. So let me ask you again. What are you still holding on to? What fear, what belief, what identity are you clinging to that's keeping you small? What would happen if you let go? Yes, it would hurt. Yes, you would grieve the old version of you. But maybe, for the first time, you would be free. Here's the final truth. You will keep sabotaging your life until the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the fear of change. And when that day comes, when you're finally tired of the lies, the excuses, the comfort that costs you everything, you'll let go and you'll realize you were never trapped. You were just afraid to live. If you want to see more, click the subscribe button and like.